All right, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a song. A song you've probably known your entire life. But what if I told you it has a secret? A really dark secret that's way more sinister than you could ever imagine?
Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies. A tissue, we all fall down. Yeah, you know those words. They're practically the soundtrack to every playground, right? But just listen to them one more time. I mean, really listen.
So is that it? Is it just some silly, nonsensical rhyme for kids? Well, for centuries, a whole lot of people have been convinced it's something way, way darker.
And here's the theory, the one that's grabbed hold of people for generations. This seemingly innocent little jingle is actually a chilling, step-by-step description of the Great Plague.
Okay, so how on earth does that work? Let's get into it. We're going to decode this rhyme, and I mean line by terrifying line, to see exactly how it supposedly maps onto the horrors of the plague.
So it all starts with that first line, the part everyone remembers. Ring a roses. What could that possibly have to do with a deadly disease?
Well, according to this theory, we're not talking about flowers here. Not at all. The ring of roses is said to be the red ring-shaped rash that was one of the very first telltale signs of the plague. Pretty grim, right?
All right, next up we have this line. A pocket full of posies. Kind of sounds random, doesn't it? What's the deal with flowers in your pocket?
Well, this part plugs right into the medical thinking of the time. See, people believed the plague spread through something called miasma, basically bad smells or polluted air. So to protect themselves, they'd stuff their pockets with posies and other strong-smelling herbs and hold them up to their noses, hoping it would keep the disease away.
And then we get to this part, achoo, achoo. I mean, come on, that's pretty unmistakable, isn't it? It's the sound of a sneeze.
And in this really dark interpretation, that's exactly what it represents. Horrible, violent sneezing fits were believed to be one of the last symptoms. If you started sneezing like that, well, it was a sign that you didn't have much time left.
Which brings us to the very last line, the one where all the kids playing the game just fall over.
Yep, we all fall down. It's blunt, it's final, and in this theory, it means exactly what it sounds like. Widespread death. The inevitable end for so many who caught the plague.
So you piece it all together, and wow, it's a completely coherent, really chilling story. Everything just seems to fit perfectly. It sends a shiver down your spine, right? But here's the big question. Is any of it actually true?
Okay, so now let's switch gears and look at what the actual historians and folklorists have to say. Because when they started digging into the evidence, well, the whole story starts to unravel.
This right here. This is probably the biggest piece of evidence against the plague theory. The Great Plague of London, the one this is all supposedly about, happened in 1665. But the very first time we see this rhyme written down in English, 1881.
Yeah, you heard that right. That's a gap of more than 200 years. There's literally zero record of this rhyme anywhere in the 1600s or 1700s. The idea that a song with such specific details could be passed down perfectly by word of mouth for over 2 centuries without a single person ever writing it down, it's just not very likely.
So what you have are two totally different stories. On one hand, you've got this super dramatic, detailed plague narrative. And on the other hand, you have what academics actually think. It was probably just a simple kid's dancing game. You know, you hold hands, you spin around, and falling down at the end is just the fun part. That whole dark plague meaning, it seems like it was added way, way later.
So that leads to the next big question, right? If it's not true, why do so many of us believe it is? Why does this myth stick around, even after experts have pretty much debunked it?
Well, the reasons are pretty human. I think for one, we just love the idea that there's a secret, dark meaning hiding in plain sight. It also takes something from distant history like the plague and makes it feel personal and immediate. And let's be honest, the story about a secret code for the plague is just a much better, more exciting story than it's just a game kids played.
And I think that's really the heart of it. The plague story for Ring a Roses survives because it just feels right. It's a neat, tidy, compelling story. And sometimes we prefer a great story over the actual, maybe more boring truth.
And it makes you wonder, doesn't it? If we can invent such a detailed, convincing, and totally false history for a simple little nursery rhyme, what else do we know to be true? How many other stories that we all share are just really good inventions that we've all decided to believe?